Hi, my name is Michelle Scally-Doylney, and I'm here on behalf of the International Feng Shui Guild, bringing you Anjie Cho and Laura Morris. And Angie and Laura, we would love to hear about yourselves, your school, Feng Shui perspective, whatever you can tell us.
Thanks so much, Michelle. So I'm Anjie Cho. I am one of the co-founders of the Mindful Design Feng Shui School. I'm also the co-author of Mindful Living, a guide to the everyday magic of Feng Shui, and also a lot of co's here. Co-host of the Holistic Spaces podcast, and I'm based in New York City.
Great.
I'm Laura Morris. I'm all of the same things that she is, that she listed. So co-founder of the school, co-author of our book, Mindful Living, and as well a co-host of the Holistic Spaces podcast. And I am based in Canada. I'm Canadian. I'm based in Canada, just east of Toronto.
Great. Thank you both. I love to hear all the co's. Bring us the question how you work together, how we work together, how we work together with our clients. Great. So how about the story of how you found Feng Shui?
Yeah, probably like maybe a lot of people in the 90s, I first encountered it. I was young, not even just out of university. And I started reading about it. It started integrating it then. But as I went, I started studying design, and I was a design professional. I thought, oh, I'll do a weekend program. I kind of dabbled in it. And there was a point where I had decided that I felt that my design work wasn't really in line with my personal work. So I was doing a lot of yoga. I'm a yoga instructor. I meditate, and I just felt I wanted to do something working with energy. And I knew about Feng Shui. I'd been playing around with it, and I thought, you know what, I'm really going to commit to it. And so I decided to do a really intense program. I committed to learning the practice, and the rest is sort of history. My business completely shifted. So I was no longer just doing design work, and I started doing feng shui design. And then I met Angie, and now we've been doing the school for 6 years.
Yeah. And my story is I'm also in a design professional. I'm an architect, and I was, working in architecture and really actually very unhappy and just, working to live, getting up and going to my 9 to 9 job, which is how architects work. And during my late 20s, during my Saturn return, I just realized that I needed to change my life. I needed to incorporate more spirituality. So I was actually on a trip to Thailand, and I had like a Reiki session, which I didn't even know what Reiki was. But anyway, I had this epiphany, and I came back to New York. I started studying feng shui. I started studying meditation and yoga. And then that led me to really want to go into feng shui more, because I was an architect, and how do I start to integrate this into my life? And so I finally invested, I had every excuse in the book to not take a feng shui program. I was like, oh, I'm not going to make any money from this. I don't want to do this. And then during one of the recessions a while ago now, I I couldn't get a job. So I decided, this is a good time to study feng shui. And I did. And then my whole life turned around. And I never thought I would be sitting here with you, Michelle, talking about our school and have a business partner and have written 3 books and have a podcast and be teaching feng shui. So I'm really grateful that I found it, because I never would have if I had not gone through that difficult time in my life where I realized I needed to incorporate more spiritual practices.
Thank you both. Can you tell us about your program format and how you make things personal, especially in this time of online classes and
Sure. So our professional training program is live. It's taught live online. So it's fully online. It's taught on Zoom. and it's 100+ hours, and it's a mentorship program. And we have the professional training program is level 1 and 2. And the intent of that is really to teach the basics of Feng Shui, but also teach it in depth, that every one of our students feels confident at the end of the program to be able to do a Feng Shui consultation. And a bonus is that they actually have a lot of life transformations. And we also actually have an advanced studies training program that we call our level 3 with our mentor, Catherine Metz. And both of these are offered once a year. So our training program, though, the 100+ hour mentorship program, is very immersive. We have student home mini consultations. So all the students get a mini consultation on their home. Plus, each student gets to audit every other student's consultation. So they get to see those consultations. There's more intimate. There's the intimate small cohort, but then we also break them up into smaller study groups, discussion groups. So everyone has an opportunity to discuss and share with each other and meet each other. We have weekly live Q&As and teachings. Laura and I also give 8 full 2-hour consultations, so a total of 16 hours, where our students audit our real consultations with real clients that Laura and I have. And then we have all of the support and mentorship for their final project, which is to perform 2 case studies, so 2-hour consultations with real clients, and we give them support. And then the support is all in class, so then you get to learn about everyone else's consultations, and then you also present your you present your case studies to the group as your final project. That's your homework in a sense. And then each student also gets to again audit quite a number of more consultations. It's very experiential.
Yeah, and I would say, sorry, just to answer the second part of your question, which is an important one, which is about, everything is online. Actually, our school was always online. That was how we developed it even before it became a thing. And so we knew going in that we had to really work hard to make sure that people felt connected, because we were concerned, there's a concern, oh, I'm online, how can I really get to know people? And we are blown away by the connections our students make. So we intentionally cultivated this community. So we have the small group cohorts. Angie and I, are available to meet. We have Q&A sessions. We spend all of that time is live and online face-to-face. And even after the fact, we find that our students have continued to meet. They have like their little friend groups after. So we work hard to make people feel like they are part of a cohort, that they have classmates, that they have these teachers, that they have TAs. We also have TAs that are graduates that help to support in a different kind of non-classroom setting, which is really fun. And so these students can meet in smaller groups and review and discuss and prepare for their case studies in a kind of without teacher, with more of their classmates. And so we found that that's where they bond, especially. I wouldn't have guessed 6 years ago that people could form such deep relationships online.
Wonderful. Thank you. How about words of wisdom to your younger self?
Okay, so I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
She'll share hers. So mine is to not live out your worst case scenario. And I have a story that when I was starting my Feng Shui business and also my architecture business, I was so tired because I was also freelancing for another designer. And I was making good money, and I was really worried. I was scared that if I quit freelancing, that I may not have enough work, and I was scared to go out on my own. So then a business mentor I had, asked me to think about what's the worst thing that could happen. So I stopped and I thought about it, and I realized, okay, the worst thing that could happen if I quit my, freelance work where I'm making good money, and I go full on with Feng Shui and my architecture work, what's the worst thing that could happen? So the worst thing that could happen is that I don't get enough work and I have to get a freelance job. So I think a lot of us spend so much energy keeping ourselves safe and not and live and then end up living our worst case scenario. So I was already living my worst case scenario. So the next day I quit my freelance job. She wanted like 6 months notice, but whatever. Anyway, I still took that leap. So I would tell my younger self, trust yourself, don't live out your worst case scenario out of fear, and really think about what makes your heart sing and follow that.
Thank you.
For me, I would say be kind, be patient with yourself, and understand that this is a lifelong practice. So as my kind of younger Feng Shui practitioner self might think, because I feel over the years that my understanding, my connection with this practice has shifted depending on your life, depending on your teachers you come into your contact with you, and then your confidence level, and just to know that you will trust the teachings that you've learned, but also trust your own inner wisdom. And I think that's really important. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't be intimidated by what others do. Know that you have learned what you needed to learn, and to trust your inner knowing and your inner wisdom.
Thank you both. And I understand we have a former student
Yes.
today.
Yeah. Amy.
So we have one of our, actually Amy Shellhorn is one of our graduates, and she's based in Los Angeles, and she's also one of our teaching assistants. And I'm so honored that she is joining us today.
Yay.
Hi, Amy.
Yay.
Thank you, Amy. So what can you share about your experience or the program?
Well, I'm so glad to be here. I think, and Angie and Laura touched on some of this earlier, but I can say, having gone through the program actually I was one of their first students, and have still been involved with the school since then, is that I really left there. I mean, from day one, once I graduated, I had already had my business set up. I had my website going, and I was able to go into business and begin consultations right away. And I felt really confident to do that. And that was I felt like all that hard work absolutely paid off.
Fantastic. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
I was going to say, can I actually add, I would say the confidence level also was bolstered, because after I graduated, then there's a graduate directory for the school. And Angie and Laura do such a good job promoting the school, sharing about what Feng Shui is. They give a lot of free resources, both on their podcast, through their website, their blog. And so the graduate directory is, once you graduate, I was placed on the directory, and I've right away actually got several clients that I actually still work with today. Like, it's a really long, people who are really interested in Feng Shui, and that being great clients. So for me, I was able to just get started right away, and the graduate directory really helped with that, and led me to the teaching as well down the road, by staying with the program.
Wonderful. Thank you, Amy. Well, Angie and Laura, I know you have a book out, and then is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, we have a new book out, and it's called Mindful Living, A Guide to the Everyday Magic of Feng Shui. And we really wanted to offer something to the entire, a larger community that may or may not take a Feng Shui certification program or a professional training program, but still be able to benefit and learn about this amazing practice that all four of us are so deeply involved with. And we're really glad to be able to offer something like that to the world. Yeah, you have anything, last words you want to share?
No, I think that's it. I mean, I think it's a reflection of our teaching style too, a little bit, our voices come through in it. So if you're curious and you're not sure, definitely get in touch with us. You can speak to more grads, or, check out the book, or check out the podcast, because I think we show up very similarly the way we show up in our program.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, everybody. And we are ready for your screen share information.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Oh, shoot. There it is.
Excellent. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.